Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL prediction segment, I'm going to be giving you my picks and analysis for Week 12 of the 2018 NFL season. Now, first game, I'm going to reluctantly take the Chicago Bears on the road to defeat the Detroit Lions. Now, Chicago, my understanding, is not going to have Trubisky, their starting quarterback. But given their defensive prowess, they are number one in defensive interceptions in the NFL. They're averaging about 29 points per game, and they have won 4 straight. They're number one in rushing yards allowed per game. Now, Detroit, they've been kind of like this up and down erratic team. You don't really know who's going to be show up. I understand they're at home. They're going to be Thanksgiving. Running back Kerryon Johnson, last I checked, the status of him was questionable. I think in this particular game, I just like the way Chicago has been playing in recent time. I'm good a little more than the Detroit Lions. I'm going to take the Bears to win this one on the road. Now, next game, I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys to win at home over the Washington Redskins. Dallas is just really playing a little bit better than Washington right now. You look at Dallas, you got the running back Ezekiel Elliott has been on a rampage. He's had 273 rushing yards over the last 2 games. They've won 2 straight. They are 3-1 at home in 2017. You look at Washington right now. They are 3-1 on the road, but Alex Smith will be out, the quarterback for them, and I believe they're going with Colt McCoy. I think he'll be adequate, but it's not going to be enough to counter what Dallas is going to be doing offensively. I think Dallas has figured out, as far as fundamentally getting a winning game going, they are going to emphasize the run. They're going to give Ezekiel Elliott more touches, and I do see them winning this game. I like Dallas at home. Next game. I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints at home to beat the Atlanta Falcons. Really not a whole lot of analysis really need for this game. Anybody that's been watching the Saints knows they've been an offensive juggernaut. They're averaging about 38 points per game. They could be on a historical run offensively. Now, you have Michael Thomas, a receiver, playing lights out. He catches a very high percentage of targets. They have won 9 consecutive games. It's almost bewildering that they even lost to Tampa Bay in Week 1 of the regular season. And New Orleans is number 1 in time of possession in the NFL. The last 3 games, they've averaged holding the ball for 37 minutes per game. They are dominating in time of possession. They're having time-consuming drives. Atlanta right now, though, they are averaging about 26 points per game. They've lost a couple in a row. Damontae Kazee may not be playing this game. He's leading the NFL with 5 interceptions right now, and Atlanta has just not looked very good. Julio Jones only has like 1 or 2 touchdowns on the season. Atlanta has underachieved, and I think in this particular game, I do like the Saints to get this done at home, so I do like New Orleans to win this at home. Next game. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills to win at home over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Buffalo, this is a battle of 2, 3, and 7 teams. Virtue of being at home is mainly why I'm going to choose the Bills. Right now, though, what you don't really hear much about, the Bills surreptitiously have become the number 1 pass defense in the NFL in terms of passing yards allowed per game. Even though the team's only averaging offensively, they're only averaging about 14 points per game. Buffalo has taken 3 of the last 4 against the Jags at Buffalo. In Jacksonville, they are actually really reeling. They've lost 6 consecutive games. That vaunted Jags defense of the past seems like it's non-existent now. The last week, though, the defense was not bad. Jalen Ramsey played actually very well, but the offense sputtered, and it didn't come through at the end of the game. The Steelers overcame like a 16-0 deficit and came back to win. Jacksonville, I think in this particular game, I think they're going to have a little trouble against the Bills' pass defense. Bills are at home. I like Buffalo to win this at home. Next game. I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals at home to defeat the Cleveland Browns. Now, Cincinnati has not really looked impressive in recent time. I wouldn't be shocked if Cleveland goes in there and wins it, but you look at Cincinnati, they've just had their way against Cleveland in recent time. Yes, I do believe history does mean something. Cincy has lost like 4 of the last 5. They're floundering right now, but they've won 8 of the last 9 against the Browns and 7 consecutive against them. But they're allowing I know it's over 30 points per game, I believe. And right now, you look at Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland has a chance in this game, given the Cincinnati Bengals' abhorrent defense right now. Cleveland, of course, is improved, but they still are abhorrent on the road. They're a terrible road team, and even though the team is improved, they're still, they just can't seem to find a way to win on the road. They're 1-27 on the road since like 2015. I mean, this is like, this is just a team that just can't seem to get it done when they have to travel and go to another places in another team's location. Now, the defense is very opportunistic. I believe number 2 in the NFL at +12 turnover differential right now. And I think the fact that Cincinnati's defense is so terrible and abysmal, it's going to keep the game close. It's a divisional game, but I still like Cincinnati to win it at home. Next game, I'm going to take the New England Patriots to win on the road against the New York Jets. I mean, neither one of these teams looked stupendous last week. It's just the fact New England is, of course, still a much better team, obviously, than the Jets. The Jets right now, they have the last 5. I mean, you look at the last 5 games, though, that New England's played the Jets at the Jets, whether it's been New York or New Jersey, it's been they've been decided by 7 or points or less. Now the Jets last week, I mean, complete lackluster performance. They were annihilated by, of all teams, Buffalo. You look at New England right now, I mean, they've won 7 of the last 8 versus the Jets, but New England's just 2-3 on the road this season. Gronkowski, I mean, he could factor in very strongly if he does play in this particular game, but even if he doesn't, New England has enough weapons to get this done. I know they didn't get it done in the last game against the Titans, but right now, I mean, the Jets are worse. I mean, safe to say they're worse than the Titans. It's a divisional game. This is a game where, I mean, New England does not lose consecutive games very often. They usually bounce back and win after a loss. I think they'll do it this time. I like the Patriots on the road. Next game. I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles at home to defeat the New York Giants. Now, Philadelphia right now, they have won 4, I mean, they've not won 4 consecutive, but against the Giants, they've dominated the series. They've won 4 straight against them, including subjugating them earlier in the season. They've also won 8 of 9 against the G-Men. They blasted the Giants earlier this season, but Philadelphia was demoralized last week. You look at the Giants, just 1-8 in the division since last season. When was the last? I'm asking kind of rhetorical. I really don't know when the last time the Giants won 3 consecutive games. The Giants have not looked bad in the past 2 games. They've looked competitive, going against the 49ers and Tampa Bay. But I mean, you look at those teams. Philadelphia probably not much better right now. Philadelphia is not playing really very well. But I think they're going to redeem themselves after that terrible, abysmal performance last week and the fact that they have dominated the series with the Giants. I like the Eagles at home. Next game. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home to defeat the San Francisco 49ers. Now, Tampa Bay, they have not, I mean, looked great. I mean, they either lose by not scoring much or they'll lose a game like last week, 38-35 to the Giants. They just lately have had a propensity to lose one way or another. I believe they've lost 4 consecutive games, but they are number 3 in total offense. Their offense is better than the 49ers without a doubt. The only thing that, I mean, now they're going to be starting Jameis Winston. Tampa Bay minus 23 turnover differential. If they just keep the turnovers down, I think they'll be okay in this game. Now, they're also on the tops in total and scoring in terms of their total and their scoring. I mean, you talk about total and scoring, defense obviously not very good. San Francisco right now, the one thing they do have going for them is they are number 3 in rushing yards per game. Tampa Bay is number 19 against the run in terms of rushing yards allowed per game. You have San Francisco, though, just 3-10 on the road since 2017. Quarterback Nick Mullins has actually looked adequate. San Francisco may actually make this game a little closer than many may think if they could just try to dominate time of possession and get there and have the running game be effective. Tampa Bay again has the propensity for turnovers. That being said, at Tampa Bay, their offense is just a lot better than the 49ers. I don't think the 49ers will be able to keep up with the offense at Tampa Bay. Even with Winston at quarterback, I expect him to play better than the last game he had when he had like 4 interceptions. I like Tampa Bay at home. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that. I'm back. Next game. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers at home to defeat the Seattle Seahawks. Right now, Carolina has not looked good, but they are going to be at home where they're 5-0 this season. I think Luke Kuechly will play very well going again in defense against Seattle's number 1 rushing attack in the league, including Russell Wilson, their quarterback. Now, I mean, you're talking about Earl Thomas, one of the better defenders, but, I mean, the D, again, as I've stated in previous videos, of course, was dismantled from last season. They are not much, I mean, they're really not that bad, but certainly not as good as they were previously. Carolina is going to be at home in this one. Carolina is number 8 against the run in terms of rushing yards allowed per game. So they are going to, I think they're going to be good enough to contain Seattle's running attack in this one. So I do like Carolina to come out on top at home. Next game. I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens at home to defeat the Oakland Raiders. Now, as I've talked about previously, I mean, the Ravenous D, yeah, it's there at least somewhat. They are, I mean, well, actually, they are number 1 scoring defense right now in the NFL. Flacco, last time I checked, his status is day for day. Their defense is only giving up like about 18 points per game. You're going against an Oakland team that only has 9 defensive sacks right now. They are, I mean, right now they are a team. They have the 1 win on the road this season, 1-4 on the road, 2018. They just will not be able. I think in this particular game, what's going to be difficult for them is trying to get to the quarterback, whether it's Flacco or someone else. I think the quarterback that played in the last game for the Ravens, if he plays in this one, he did show certain scrambling ability. I believe running the ball frequently. I mean, you're increasing propensity for injury with that. But, I mean, if he can, I think with the lack of the pass rush for the Oakland Raiders is going really to be their detriment in this particular matchup. And the defense is going to be too much for Baltimore's for Oakland to handle. I do like Baltimore at home. Next game. I'm going to take the Los Angeles Chargers at home to defeat the Arizona Cardinals. You look at the LA Chargers right now, they're averaging about 26 points per game. They've won 6 of 7. They should have had that game last week. They just squandered their lead at the end. That was, like I saw, what it looked like to me was a fluke win for Denver over the Chargers. Chargers will be at home. And you look at the running back Melvin Gordon for the Chargers. I think he's going to have a very good game against that Arizona Cardinals. Their run defense, the run defense for the Cardinals in terms of what they're giving up per game, 29th in the NFL. And they couldn't beat Oakland. And also Arizona is dead last in time of possession in the NFL. They just don't really have the ball long, so it just shows they don't have many sustained drives. I think the Chargers will have that in this game. And Arizona's only averaging 14.5 points per game. So I look at this, and it just, to me, it's something where they're just not going to be able to put up enough points to compete with the Chargers. So in this particular one, I do like the Chargers to win this one at home. Now the next game, I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to win on the road against the Denver Broncos. Now the Steelers have won 6 consecutive games right now. They are on a roll, to say the least. They're like 11-1-1 on the road since 2017. Very formidable road team. They have like 37 defensive sacks right now. You look at Denver right now, they've lost 6 of 8. Their Vaughan defense certainly is no more. Number 21 in total defense in the NFL. They've allowed 23.5 points per game. They have Von Miller, but do they have really much else on defense? I mean, it's really hard to go against a Steelers team that just seems to often, in recent time, played very well in the second half of the season. I just don't see them slowing down right now against the Denver Broncos. They came back against the Jaguars last week. A game looked like they were destined to lose, but they've still found the resolve to come back and do it. I think they're going to win. I like them in this one as well. So I like the Steelers on the road. Next game. I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts at home to defeat the Miami Dolphins. Now, Indianapolis right now, they're playing with a lot of confidence and swagger. They're averaging, over the last 4 games, 36.5 points per game. The tight ends have been sensational. They are just really coming on strong for this Indianapolis Colts team. Andrew Luck has not been sacked in the last 5 games. And Miami right now, coming off a bye, just 1-4 on the road in 2018. They said Ryan Tannehill is going to be starting this one, so they might make it competitive in this one. He's probably the best quarterback they have on that team. They may make it competitive because Ryan Tannehill is going to be playing in this game. But as terms of this Indianapolis Colts team, in terms of their offense, right, they've just look like one of the more dominant offenses in the league in recent weeks. I don't think Miami can keep up with them. I like the Colts to keep this going. At home, they dismantled the Titans last week. I don't think they should have that much problem against the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to take the Colts at home. Next game, I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings at home to defeat the Green Bay Packers. Now, Minnesota right now, they definitely haven't. They haven't lived up to expectations. That may be a vast understatement. Kirk Cousins on First Take, he got certain criticism on there. But I look at this, and the main reason Minnesota has not played as well as they had last season, their defense has not been up to par. But, given at home, I still like them to get this job done because they're playing against the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers are winless on the road this season. The Green Bay Packers also they're number 5 in the NFL in passing yards allowed per game, so it may make it somewhat competitive. Green Bay has played, even though they've lost, they haven't won any games on the road. The last few games they've played or so on the road, they've actually been very close. They had one against the Rams. They had one against the Seahawks. That was a barn burner that they couldn't quite pull out. They will likely make this a competitive game, given that Minnesota they have not been playing to their potential, even with the combination of Kirk Cousins and Adam Thielen. It just hasn't been quite enough to be that dominant team that a lot of people, perhaps including me, that thought they would be. Given all that, I do think Minnesota comes out in a close game and wins this one at home. I like the Vikings at home. Last but not least, I want to take the Houston Texans at home to defeat the Tennessee Titans. You have Houston right now. There's just not enough superlatives to say about this team. They've won 7 consecutive games. They're also going to be seeking retribution from that earlier loss against Tennessee, where Houston just didn't have the best clock management toward the end of the game. Maybe they could have at least tied it or somehow pulled it out, maybe, if they just had a little better clock management, but they just didn't quite get the job done. When you have J.J. Watt and their quarterback healthy, and it's this team is very hard to beat. It could actually be a dark horse in the AFC. I believe. Now, you have the Tennessee Titans. They had this swagger. They were looking really good after defeating the Patriots. Then they just basically fell apart. Again, came out flat against the Colts. They couldn't hardly generate any offense. Mariota missed a good part of the game. Missed substantial time. Mariota may not even play in this particular one. The team has allowed 33 sacks, and Houston's defense is showing really signs of really reviving. They are really playing well on all cylinders right now, and they're going to be at home in a Monday night game. It's hard for me to see them losing this one, especially after they lost earlier to the Titans at Tennessee. I don't think Tennessee can come in there and get this W. I like Houston to win this one at home. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment for my picks and analysis for Week 12 of the 2018 NFL season. And until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.